Another common element found in the head of an HTML document is something called the meta description. Now, if you Google meta description, you'll be able to find obviously a ton of articles on it. Just click on any one of them and try to find an example of it. For example, in this site, you see an example of a meta description. And what I do is just take this thing, copy it, and let's bring it into our document. Now, again, it has to be nested inside of the head over here. So I'm going to put it right underneath my title. And you see, I just copy and pasted it in there. Now, often when I'm working, especially if I'm not working with a editor like Dreamweaver that automatically fills things in for me, I always go online, try to Google something so I could and then copy and paste the code example that I found so I avoid syntax errors, because what's easy for a human to do, like type something wrong or misspell description or something, if you end up doing that, what ends up happening is that the web browser is not going to process it as it should be. It's going to be considered a syntax error, and something, as instead of like this, a quick misspelling, which you may type while you're going quickly, the browser's just going to assume it's the wrong thing. So that's why I always copy and paste things when I can. Now, just to talk about this tag, this is a little bit new, because here's an HTML tag that's not that we haven't seen yet, in the sense that it doesn't have an opening and a closing tag. It's just kind of a standalone. Well, there's a handful of HTML elements that don't need to be closed, and the meta tag is an example of one of those. And what the meta tag does, it has a very important function, not so much with what the visitor sees, but how it's processed by search engines. Now, when we went to Google this HTML meta tag, you notice that the search results of Google are pretty standard. They have the title that we could click on, they have the URL, and then they have this text here. Now, if you provide a meta description for your document, it's going to show up in Google right here. So Google, when it processes your page, it'll use this portion from the title, this, obviously the URL from wherever it's uploaded, and then your description, your meta description, is going to be listed underneath here. The issue, if you don't do it, is it may take something just from your page, randomly from your page, like an excerpt from your page, and the issue with that is the excerpt may not be descriptive to a visitor. Now, in the world of online marketing and all that, people are very competitive with these things. So it's important that just as you're learning web design, you realize that not only is there the learning code and design aesthetic dimension of this, but it's going to be published online. So you want to make sure you're doing things at best practices. I mean, you don't want to put in all this effort on making a beautiful page that no one's going to see. So the one document that Google provides that's very helpful is this thing that, if you obviously Google it, Search Engine Optimization Starter Guide. Search Engine Optimization, SEO for short. And if you just go Google SEO Starter Guide, here you go. You'll find it right here, and I've downloaded it already. And if you go down a couple pages, you should see two important things to read. The first is on titles, and this says create unique, accurate page titles. Obviously, when a visitor is searching for your site or something related to the subject you're writing about or designing for, you want the title to be very descriptive. And this document will give you some best practices approaches to that. And similarly, you want to have make use of the description meta tag. And same thing goes. You want to have something, you want to provide the description tag and have it accurately reflect what your page has. Because when your site is, one of a million pages listed, if you don't get the visitor's eyeballs in the fraction of a second, you could be out of luck and they may not come visit at all. So that's what I'm going to do now. I am going to provide a descriptive meta description for my document.